What good are 360-degree Bluetooth speakers? Are they useless or actually good? Today in this video, I'll try to answer this question while taking a look at the Tronsmart T7. Basically, you'll be hearing my personal opinions on this matter. At the time of this video, such a T7 speaker comes in at a price of about $60 US, but sometimes can be had for even less. The unboxing experience for a product of this price range is pretty nice. Part of what comes included, besides the speaker itself, is a USB-C charging cable along with a quick user guide. In terms of quality, as in build quality, I'm positively surprised. It all appears to be fairly solid and well made. The majority of the surface here is some kind of braided nylon, which is known to repel water quite well in fact. Tronsmart is heavily advertising their T7 for outdoor use and also states the speaker is IPX7 rated. That's one of the highest ratings out there actually, and should allow us, in a worst case scenario, to submerge the device into water for up to 30 minutes at a depth of 1 meter. So clearly, a few drops or rain in general shouldn't do any harm to the T7. Right off the box, we're getting a lanyard pre-attached here. That's great for carrying the speaker around or attaching it to backpacks, bikes, etc. Generally speaking, what makes these 360-degree speakers stand out is the fact they often come equipped with a few drivers that are placed at different angles. Even today's model comes with 3 drivers in total. At the bottom, we are also getting some bass assistance there. The output power, according to Tronsmart, should be at 30 watts, the audio codec being SBC. This device also packs Bluetooth 5.3. Even RGB lighting apparently now has made it onto speakers, and as a matter of fact, I do welcome it, since besides a few different color and lighting effects, there's a specific highlight, allowing the lighting to somewhat sync up with the rhythm of the music. On the side we have our controls, such as the power button, also to turn on and off the LEDs, the play button not only being reserved for playback, but also to activate one's voice assistant and to accept and decline phone calls. Therefore, yes, the T7 does include a built-in microphone. Then there's a skip forward and backward, as well as the so-called sound pulse button that allows us to switch between EQ modes. At the very top, we are getting a volume wheel to change the volume independently from the phone's volume control, for instance. You could, in theory, also insert a microSD card into today's device. According to the manufacturer, we're looking at a battery life of up to 12 hours with the LEDs turned off and up to 7 hours with the LEDs on. We are charging over USB-C. Some manufacturers, among those Tronsmart, offer us the option to pair 2 speakers with each other to achieve a strong stereo effect. For today's T7 speaker, there's even an app available with which you can go through firmware updates, also switch between EQ modes, but also go for user-defined EQ. Most of you could, however, just skip the app altogether, in my opinion. But now to the most important question of all, what is the audio quality like? Is a 360-degree speaker any better or maybe even worse for an outdoor setting, if you will? Conventional stereo speakers usually have a more directional approach and fire only into one direction, but do so at a higher quality. So with 360-degree quote-unquote surround sound, you are making some compromises as far as audio quality is concerned. However, I can actually confirm that playing back music fills the room with all angles considered noticeably better than a normal stereo speaker does. So if there are several people involved that wish to be part of the music listening experience, that's certainly not a bad solution at all. Needless to say, we simply cannot be speaking of true surround sound by any means, not in the slightest. I will be honest with you and admit I still prefer a classic speaker setup that only fires into a single direction, but then again it comes down to use case. A 360-degree speaker, such as this one, you just put down anywhere without even paying attention to it and satisfy all people hanging around and listening. It's an acceptable result. Of course, I'd like to give you a bit of a taste by simply setting up a desk microphone and recording the music the T7 is playing back as best as I possibly can. You have to keep in mind though that it's close to impossible to properly record what the actual output is like in real life. It's a different experience since there are way too many variables involved. Still, some of you get a bit of an idea on what to expect, so there you go. Now before I've talked about 360-degree speakers in general, but what are my thoughts on the Tronsmart T7? Well, the audio for the most part is okay, even though at max volume I was a little disappointed, especially the highs were distorting quite a bit, which is why I'd personally recommend staying at a volume level of about 75% at max, and that is still plenty of volume for many parties, if you will. The default EQ setting overall offers a good balance, but I certainly do believe the Sound Pulse setting is offering us the better audio throughout all music genres, although for rock and metal music the highs are a little excessive sometimes. Other than that, at a price of $60 or less, I'm pretty happy. The audio experience is very usable, the room can be filled with music quite well, the controls are straightforward, a small light show is on board too, and last but not least, this thing is portable and weatherproof. It's a speaker designed for outdoor use, so it'll see some fairly heavy use. Those of you expecting superb and phenomenal audio quality from a 360-degree speaker should definitely lower your expectations drastically, especially in this price range. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.